Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of South by Southeast. Today we are in Hegewisch at the Hair Lair, and I am with Linda and Celina of the Hair Lair, who are the owners. Hi, guys.
Hello.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit about Hair Lair and what it is to you guys.
It's our life.
Yeah, literally.
It's a salon, a neighborhood salon. The only one that's kind of in the Hegewisch area. We do have a couple barbershops, and then we have our eyebrows across the street. But we are the only hair salon that's in the area. Mm-hmm. We offer services for men, women, children, so it is a family salon. From cuts to colors to just a simple shampoo, styles. We have done quinceañeras, weddings. So we offer
Baby
a variety of
showers,
services.
Yeah.
Everything in between.
You know, the gender reveals. You know.
But tell me, Linda, what it is to you, because I know that it was passed down to you. Am I right?
So my godfather, he was the originator of the Hair Lair.
Okay.
He first had his salon, him and his friends partnered, and they opened up their salon up north on Belmont.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the Hair Lair originated, and I started doing hair when I was 18. I went to school for it and told myself if I ever opened up my own salon, I was going to name it after his.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the name originates from, and that's where it's at now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And Celina, tell me a little bit about your background.
So I started doing hair when I was 20, so it would have been 8 years ago. I went to school.
Oh, okay.
She ended up actually being one of my instructors.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of funny because we kind of grew up in the same neighborhood, like literally a block apart.
Oh my gosh.
So, and we know like similar people, so she was my instructor, and it was just all history from there.
That's awesome. And what made you guys want to team up and do the Hair Lair?
So that part. So I was almost due with my baby boy.
Oh, okay.
This happened right before the holidays, I want to say, in 2019. Yeah. She had approached me and was like, so how do you feel about partnership? And
do you feel like sharing the love?
Yeah, basically. And I'm like, yeah, we'll talk about it. And then maternity leave happened, and we never talked about it because we were just I was trying to get things settled here before going, and then the holidays, it's always a crazy time of year. Mm-hmm. And then after I had the baby, we slowly started talking about it, and then COVID happened.
Oh, beloved COVID.
Yeah. So we ended up closing for a little bit, but when we were during the process of closing, we discussed it like, hey, we have time now to sit and discuss. So we talked about everything, and we decided, hey, let's partner. So we officially became partners in April of 2020, right before opening back up. And we thankfully were fortunate enough to be able to revamp and remodel the salon before opening back up in June, and here we are today.
That's awesome, because it does look very beautiful. I know that my husband, as soon as he walked in, he was like, oh, wow.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, we try to make the best out of the time that we had to close during COVID. We're like, it's horrible right now, but let's make it a good thing.
For sure.
Right, definitely. And then what would you say separates you from any of the other salons that are in the area?
I would say our color line. We use Paul Bryant, which is nobody nearby uses it that we know of or that we've seen. It's a 100% vegan line.
Oh wow, okay.
All naturals. Quinoa is one of the main ingredients. It's definitely one of a kind. They started off with just like a semi-permanent line, having fantasy colors like all the crazy reds, blues, greens.
Oh, okay.
And then right when the salon opened, they had came out with their permanent hair color line, so we kind of like shifted everything.
Oh, that's awesome.
So we don't really think that anybody in the area uses the Paul Bryant color line. And another service that we offer is the Olaplex treatment. I'll let you talk about that.
So we have the Olaplex treatment, which pretty much repairs and restores your hair, and then it prevents further damage to your hair. So there's multiple steps to it. It goes in the color. So that's a bonder. We have that as well as the lighteners with the bonders in it. So we're just like pretty protecting your hair, you know? And then we have the second step, which it kind of seals your cuticle and mends it and all that. And then on top of that, we have the new Redken pH treatment that we're now bringing in. Redken just came out with that.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. And then for people who don't know, what would that do for your hair?
Sure. So what that does is it basically, like Celina was saying, it helps protect and as well as repair the hair. With the Redken pH concentrator that just came out, it basically stabilizes the pH of your hair.
Okay.
Puts it back or helps repair it and put it back into the original state or as close to the original state as possible.
Okay.
Your hair has 3 layers, which is the cuticle, the cortex, and the medulla. Sorry. I was an instructor. I should know that. I was an instructor. I should know that by heart. So it basically goes in and it seals the inner layer of your individual hair strand and helps kind of repair it and take it from there.
And so many things can contribute to the pH in your hair being off, like the environment, the products you're using, the water at home, like so many things. So it really benefits everybody.
That's awesome. And then you also have like a serum that you guys are introducing as well, right?
Yes, Bella Nova.
Bella Nova.
Oh, yeah.
It's all natural oils, and it's a collaboration with Dapper Demon. His logo is on the back as well. All the oils in it is coconut oil, jojoba oil, and castor oil.
And then what would that do for someone's hair?
So what it mainly does is it moisturizes it and it brings all the shine back in your hair, all the health. And because it's all natural, it has so many more benefits than putting the chemical in your hair that's in other products. And it also works as a heat protectant. So
okay, perfect.
It pretty much like seals your cuticle, moisturizes. Even if you have dry scalp, you can rub it on your scalp.
And with the castor oil, it'll help with like hair growth.
Oh, perfect. I think I know somebody who needs that.
And everybody hears about the castor oil, you know, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, I know that we have castor oil at home, and it's because of my husband, and he's like, I don't never use it. When I do use it, I can only put it on for an hour, and
so there you go. He could take a dab of this and rub it in there really good.
He'll definitely benefit from that. But tell everybody as well where they can find you guys and how they can get their hands on some of this oil.
So our address is 13302 Baltimore, second building from the corner. And you can just come on in, purchase a bottle. We do have samples. If anybody's interested in a sample, we can always give that away too. Just to test it out. A little bit goes a long way. So the bottle will last you kind of
forever.
Not forever, but forever.
Forever, but not forever.
It is just one pump is like a pea-size amount, and you just kind of work it through your hands, work it like mid-shaft to the ends, and it'll give you your shine, your protection, moisturizing, and growth. So.
Awesome. And how would somebody set up an appointment with either you or Celina or anybody in the salon?
So we do have a system called Vagaro. So on all of our social medias, we have the links to that. So either they can message our social media or they can go on our link to book through Vagaro. They can do it online or they can even call us.
Okay, perfect.
And for social media, just be patient because sometimes we do kind of forget that it exists, but we know that it's there. So
it gets backed up from time to time. It does get a little backed up.
Yeah. Okay,
so please just be patient.
Everyday life, you know.
Of course. Nobody's on their social media all the time.
Yeah.
Quickest would be to just call the stylist individually if, you know, the number's on there, or just to call the salon and then go from there.
Yeah. Perfect.
Because everybody always answers the salon phone.
Oh, yeah. So, Linda, tell me a little bit more about your chair, because I know that as we were moving things around to get the podcast going, you had a little bit of a story.
Yes.
This is the oldest chair in the salon.
This is the oldest chair ever. So this chair was a gift, I would say, like 10 years ago from my mom and my dad. And when I was, before the salon opened, I was working out of my basement in between teaching cosmetology. That's how I re-met Celina. And actually all the stylists here, are former students of mine. So it's pretty cool, yeah. So the original chair, it, like I said, I've had it since for the past 10 years at least.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it's a little banged up, but I'm like, I'm not. My husband's like, you need to get rid of it. I was like, no.
You can't take my chair.
You can't take my chair away.
This chair is very sturdy, though.
Yeah, my mom and dad got it for me, and my dad, it'll be 8 years that he's been gone, so it's like, I'm never getting rid of it. So that's where the chair comes in, and it's the only one that stands out because we're currently waiting for our 6th chair to come in, so they all match.
You're like, I don't want it to come in.
I'll bring my chair from home. We're good. So that's where this bad boy comes from.
You can just put it on like the little shelf over there in the window. Just keep it there as like a memento.
Some shining lights.
Yeah.
Revamp it, it's my baby.
Well, I think you should keep it. That's just me though. But tell me how it is being women in this industry. I mean, I know a lot of women are entrepreneurs and making their own, salons and things like that. But how is it for you guys and being in the area and being surrounded by so many of the same thing?
So for me, thankfully, like I said earlier, we're the only ones here in Hegewisch. We do have a lot of competition on the east side in Whiting.
Right.
But thankfully, we're the only ones that are here. It was honestly nerve-wracking. I've been in the industry for 17 years. And I went back in 2012 to get my teaching license to teach cosmetology. I did that for about 6 years, I believe it is, 6-7 years, before deciding like, hey, I want to go back behind the chair. I just needed a little change in life, went through some things in life, and I'm like, I need a change. I loved teaching. I loved the students, my coworkers. And I'm teaching them, like, how do you build your own business? How do you build your own salon? And then I'm like, hey, I'm teaching them how to make, all this money and do all this stuff. And it's time that I miss doing it more.
Right.
So
definitely.
like I said, I was doing it at home in my basement prior to opening this. So I left the school and I worked at a salon in Cherville with a friend that I had went to beauty school with.
Oh, okay.
And I started there back behind the chair. And it was a little bit of a drive. It wasn't, anything too crazy though. I still had, thankfully I had my clientele that would go, family, friends, that would come and, they would support me. And I'm like, hey, this is better than what I thought, It was really nice to be back behind the chair and be back behind the chair full time, whether it was there or whether it was at home. And then I had left there. I went through a second miscarriage, unfortunately, and that's why I'm like, I just need time for myself.
Yeah.
Going through it within, I think it was a year of each other. So I'm like, I need time to kind of take a break, breathe, see where I want to be. I'll still do it out of my house. At least I have my setup there.
Right.
Fix up my basement and make it more presentable and, just start out from there. And then, so I left there and maybe like not even a month later, it was right before the 4th of July, my cousin, she's a distant cousin. She's like third cousins down the line. She had owned this space when it was CJ's.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So she called like, hey, I didn't know you weren't teaching. You were back in the salon. I'm closing, or I just closed CJ's. And how would you feel about opening your own place? And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm gonna do that when I'm 40. Yeah, like the number was always 40. Like when I turn 40, that's when I'll start opening my own salon. And she's like, no, you're young. Do it now. Do it while you're young. I'm like, I'm young and I'm broke. Like, I don't have the money to open up my own salon. She's like, no, I'll help you out. Everything that I had, you can just kind of bring it back in there, and I'll work with you. And I was like, yeah, but what about product and color? And she's like, you're making it harder than what it is. Trust me. Like,
you're overthinking.
Yeah. And she's like, I've been doing this for 20 plus years. You're good. So with her help and then the help from my family, major help from my family, like I was able to start it up. So this is where I'm at now, and it's been great. It was going back to whole, being a woman entrepreneur. It's hard. But it's great. There is competition out there, but you make it your own. You make it your own brand, and you go through and say, okay, hey, this is what they're not offering that I know of. So this is what I want to bring in, At the time it was I, so sorry. It was like, this is what I want to bring in, this is what I want to offer, and kind of just take it from there. And word of mouth has been huge. It's been great. The help of family and friends, and just being vocal, and social media is a big thing, putting our work out there, even though we sometimes slack on that. I know I do. I slack on putting my work out there, but
well, that's what we're here for.
Thank you.
But we do know a lot of the other stylists within the area, and we all support each other. Like, we're constantly giving each other praises on social media. So I think if anything, we kind of all maybe bounce off of each other a little bit, because if you can be great and they can be great, why not learn from each other and all be great? So it kind of is cool,
Yeah, and definitely seeing all of your clientele come back in and come here for you guys, it has to be rewarding. I mean, I would imagine.
Yeah, and it also helps that we know a lot of people in the area. Yeah. So where else better to have your place at than where you know everybody?
Exactly.
So.
Because I know that I'll go to my girl and be like, I can't go anywhere else other than her. Because if I do, then she's going to yell at me, and then I'm going to be in trouble.
No. Yeah, and you will get those that people are like, nobody else will touch my hair. You know? And you're like, yes, thank you.
Yeah. Going on maternity leave. I was all like, you can go with her, you can go with her. And they're like, are you sure you've only been doing my hair? And I was like, you're good, you're in good hands. I was like, I taught all of them, you're good. Like,
I think someone even told her, like, oh, I'll hold your baby for you or something.
I'm like, no, that's okay. I'm going to take maternity leave. And then everybody took maternity leave.
So it was in the water here.
Yeah.
So I will not drink any of the water here. So Linda, I am going to have to give this water back.
No. I was the only one pregnant.
We took COVID maternity leave. COVID maternity leave.
So what made you guys want to become beauticians? Because I mean, it's a lot of work, I feel like.
It is a lot of work. For me personally, I wanted to become a beautician just because when I was younger, I was the one that would sit on the porch and do everybody's hair on the block, and things like that. And it's just, even from that young, you could tell when somebody's happy with their hair. Like, even if it's a braid or a twist or whatever, and they walk away and they're happy, So just being able to give that when I was younger made me be like, okay, this is what I want to do. You want to make people feel good about themselves. Definitely. Sometimes they're just having a bad day and they know they're beautiful, but they forgot it until you do something with their hair and then they feel beautiful again. Yeah. So that it's very rewarding.
Yes. And what about you, Linda?
For me, I wasn't sure if I wanted to do hair or do nursing or do both. Then I got pregnant. I found out I was pregnant right after high school. So I'm like, I need to get my butt in gear, figure something out, get something going. So then I decided to go to cosmetology school, and the rest is history. So it's been great. I've contemplated in between the years, like, should I go back for nursing? And then I'm like, nah.
And then you get really pushed in the other direction.
Yeah, I was like, nah. I'm where I need to be. This is what I'm meant to be doing. So, but just growing up and seeing my mom go to the hair salon, getting her hair done, and my godfather, I unfortunately don't have much memory of his salon environment and how it was. I was younger, and I was 7, I believe, when he had passed away. So I don't really remember too much of the environment, but I have great stories from my family that has told me. I have clients that come in that knew him, my family that comes in and they're like, I remember when he used to do this, and I remember he used to do that, and you just have that touch like him. And I'm like, so it means so much. Like, when I hear that, it's great.
It's like, that you're where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. And then, again, how can everybody reach you, whether here at the salon or through social media?
You can find us Instagram and Facebook at Hair Lair 60633. And you can click on the link to schedule appointments, or you can always call the salon, 773-437-4693.
I'm glad you remembered that.
She's like, I wouldn't have remembered that. Well, thank you guys for joining us today, and I hope everybody comes in and shares in the Hair Lair.
Thank you for having us.
And I do want to mention our patrons before we go. Let me see here. I have a little list so I won't forget. We have Hegewisch Nutrition, Willie G, Stevie's Michies, Dog Apparel Company, Poco Picoso, OMG Pastries 31, VBly Photo, Crystal Vizionz, Matthew Rise, Ice Cream Time, Buzzin Barbecue, and Stella Garcia. So thank you everybody for joining us here. Yes, Stella. Thank you everybody for joining us. This is another episode of South by Southeast.
Thank you.
Thank you. Come see us.